What is the cause of tomato plants that are big and beautiful and bushy, but they're not producing tomatoes? I've got 5 possible reasons that it could be, so stick around. Tomato plants are super popular to grow, and although the plant itself is kind of pretty, we don't grow them because it's a pretty plant. We want to get those tomatoes, and this is a really common problem that I hear, so let's go ahead and jump into those 5 issues. Number one, your tomato may not be getting enough direct sunlight. It needs direct sunlight on the leaves for a minimum of 6 hours a day in order to properly get it to flower and set fruit. A lot of people keep them in too shady of a spot, and that plant's just going to get tall and bushy because it's going to be looking for more light, but it's not going to be producing any tomatoes. Number two, if you are fertilizing with too much nitrogen, it may just encourage it to put out leafy growth but not produce blooms. And so in those cases, you would need to cut down on the nitrogen and add a more balanced fertilizer, especially one that has a high middle number, which is your phosphorus. Number three would be if you are getting flowers, but they are not getting pollinated correctly. So in those cases, your plant is producing flowers, but they're just not setting fruit, is what we call that. And that could be to a number of reasons. One of them is they are not getting any vibration. So those flowers have to be vibrated either by insects going in there and shaking that pollen, or by the wind shaking those flowers around and moving the plants around. Or it could be that that variety just doesn't pollinate well in warmer temperatures, which leads me into number four. And number four is that you may have planted your tomatoes too late. And this is another really common issue I see is people wait till well after last frost to go ahead and put those tomato plants out. And then all of a sudden, many years, those temperatures will start to increase dramatically. Certain tomato plants do not like to set fruit or pollinate themselves once the temperatures are above 85, 90, or 95 degrees, depending on variety. And that's why it's crucial to get the timing right when you are planting your tomatoes. And number five is you may have just not picked a very good variety of tomato for your area. Certain tomatoes do well in one region or another. There are tomatoes that are more well suited for a northern climate and others for a more southern climate, others for more dry and others for humid. So make sure you are selecting varieties that do well in your area.